Hey, what's going on? Topic of the day, NPCs. What are they? Um, they're known as non-playable characters, but I want to get more into it and talk about NPCs and their function here in this reality. What's up? My name is Montre Bible. You're a metaphysical advisor, talking about all things spiritual and metaphysical things that don't quite, you know, uh, makes sense, but we still want to investigate them. Okay, so that includes everything paranormal stuff like that. So this is stuff I like to talk about. And this includes, of course, tarot and astrology and numerology, because I believe that there is a order to everything. There's order to the universe, and the universe is alive and it talks to us. So I want to go more into detail about that. But NPCs, those non-playable characters, they are amongst us. Are they bad? Are they good? Do we know? Um, Honestly, I think they're kind of in that neutral zone. I think they can be used for any purpose. Okay. NPCs, if you think of this reality as a simulation, as some type of game, simulation theory is pretty prevalent here on YouTube. You can do some investigation on that. But our reality has been destroyed and rebuilt continually, but we still remain. Uh, this reality is nothing more than a matrix, a holographic matrix for souls. And there are different timelines that souls will travel on to learn certain things. We are here to learn. But yet, we have other outside entities that were created as well who want to dominate that, who want to control the matrix and use it for their own purposes and will. So, as conscious souls, you want to understand your power and realize that you're not a slave. You're not a slave to the system. You're not a slave to the matrix. You're here to learn about yourself. You're here to learn about other souls. But the thing is, like, we, in the midst of that, in the midst of this game or the simulation, we have these NPCs, these non-playable characters, and they're just here to fill in the space. Now, some of them are, like I said, filler people. Some of them are actually programmed to help you if you ask them a question or assist you. But some are just like they're not really meant to do anything. They're just taking up space. Um, I have some anecdotal um, experiences where I have a couple of neighbors and I'm like, these people never talk to me, and when I say hi, they're just like, and they go back onto their little program thing. And I swear, one of these, no, two of them, they wear the same thing every day. So, and I'm like, this cannot be possible. So, if we think of this as a big game, a big simulation game, there comes a certain amount of data, and I'm gonna throw a lot of stuff at you guys. So try to keep up. There comes a lot of data, or there's a fixed amount of data that comes with the game. Now, when you have too many people playing the game at once, playable characters, souls, if you have too many souls or too many people playing a game at once, it'll start lagging. And I've experienced this before when I went into virtual reality and I was playing a certain virtual game, and all of a sudden the environment started slowing down. People's avatars were tripping. It was really weird. So what we're seeing here is also, if you ever look for videos for called glitches in the matrix, just search it. You will see that in reality we're having little glitches here and there. We're having things slow down, or people popping up where they don't supposed to pop up, looking like, are they coming through portals? We're seeing birds sitting still in the air, and people are recording this. They're I think there was a video of a plane wasn't moving. Okay, so people are recording different glitches in the matrix, things that don't make sense, and nobody has an answer for it. What's going on? So here's my theory here, is that this reality, this matrix, is converging. And this explains the Mandela effect as well. For those who are a lot of people that follow me are very big into the Mandela effect as well. So I have made a few videos about the Mandela effect. But my theory about the Mandela effect is that reality is converging on itself. That it's timelines starting to connect with other timelines to become one timeline. And we're getting a lot of this from we're getting little hints about this with Hollywood. Hollywood is kind of trying to tell us this message with the multiverse movies and timelines here. And there's even a movie about Mandela effect. Actually, it wasn't that great. You can watch it if you want to, but my theory is that the timelines are converging, and all the multi Earths or the different Earths that we exist on are all becoming one. That means that we're getting close to some type of judgment time. Because if we all get into one Earth, all the souls that are everywhere, spread out everywhere, all come to one Earth, then what is that doing? That's putting a lot of conscious souls into one space. And when you have that many souls in one area, that's taking up a lot of data. So now they have to do damage control, because I don't think they can control. When I say they, I'm talking about these outside entities, these things that call themselves gods, these things, the demons, the spirits. They're outside beings playing in the Matrix game, playing in this game, but trying to manipulate and control the human souls. Okay, so what's going on here is that there's this convergence that's happening, which is kind of like a clock. And they realize, okay, we got to do something, because if all the timelines connect and become one Earth and one timeline, there's going to be too many souls in one space, and this is going to use up data. And when that happens, you're going to start seeing more Matrix-like things, more Matrix glitches, things that don't make sense. 1 minute's nighttime, 1 minute's daytime, or daytime lasts too long, or you see a person leave a room and then you look and they're still in the room. You're like, okay. And it's really going to only affect NPC characters, non-playable characters, because NPC characters don't have souls. They're just here. And like I said, they're just here to help or assist or fill in space. So when these glitches happen, it's going to affect them mostly. So this is why I truly believe they try to distract or keep your attention off of realities, because if you're not focused on the real world, if you're not going outside, if you're not looking at the trees, they don't have to buffer. They don't have to, what's the word? In a video game, if you're not looking at something, it no longer is being seen, basically. Does a tree make sound if no one's there? That would basically be no. If in this matrix reality that we live in, if no one's looking at something, then that thing is not materializing. Okay, and I know it's pretty deep, and I know I just went deep with you guys with that one, so just take a sip on that one. Is the more people that focus on something, the more it materializes. Okay, reality doesn't exist. My dog is rubbing on my foot. Reality doesn't exist unless we observe it, basically. So if we're not observing something, it no longer exists. I mean, like, everybody has to stop observing it. So the more focus or attention we give a particular item, the more energy we give it, and then it manifests or it creates. This is why the media is consistently trying to get our attention on one particular subject, so that the human souls will actually create that thing. But once we divert our energy to something else, it no longer has power, and then it loses power. But because of the convergence that's happening presently, we're having a lot of souls in one place. Now, I told you, and I made a short recently talking about basically soulmates and twin flames, and I said that time is not linear. So there is a fixed amount of souls, but we're not all on the same timeline at the same time. And some of us come to the same timeline and meet our twin flame, and so on and so forth. So this will kind of confirm a lot of biblical things about, the 144,000. You're like, how is that possible when we have billions of people on the planet? Well, there's a fixed amount of souls. I'm not saying that scripture is true or not, but I'm saying it's possible that there's a fixed amount of souls. And the reason why we have billions of people is that souls can revisit timelines. And like I'm making this video in 2022, there might be 100 variants of myself in different parts of this planet in 2022. 100. And I may live in a different timeline in the 1800s at this present time. All of these things are happening at the same time because time is not linear. So my soul could have 100 variants, which would be my twin flames, in this actual year. And I can also exist as a soul in like the 1800s, or as a racist white woman. So the thing is, this is why you don't judge people, because you're living and experiencing different times, and you can be different people. You're not white or black or male or female in every timeline. You're different people. And this is why we have to have more compassion with other people, realizing that you may be talking to yourself, you may be talking to another soulmate, you're just talking to another soul, or you could be talking to an NPC. And this is what this video is about. So NPCs, like I said, are the filler people. And if the Matrix crashes, most of those NPC people will disappear. And reality has been destroyed and rebuilt a few times. For those that believe in the Tartarian theory, there's massive architecture and buildings, and I'm starting to see more, research more on that. But so I don't want to talk too much on it. But there's massive architectures showing like there may have had some civilizations that existed way before us. But where were all the people? Where's all the documentation? So I'm thinking, my theory, in my opinion, this was a matrix crash. This is when one of the realities in our existence crashed and all the people disappeared, and it was left with just a few souls. And our souls in general are very innocent. They're childlike. And when our souls, our true nature is just like, we're just here to learn, But those NPCs, yeah, if anything crashes, it's going to take them out. It's going to take them out first. They're just, because it's not enough data. And I think that's what we're going to probably see. We're probably going to see mysterious disappearances happen as this reality converges. Now, what's the damage control? How are they keeping our attention distracted? Well, like even some of the, and I hate to say it, please do not crucify me for this, but some of even the mask mandates, even those are going away, but there's still, if you think about that, if this was a video game, it takes less data to make a face if it's covered. For those people who are into art and creating things, it just takes less data. If you're going to create a character and you're going to put something on its face, you know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, if you want to wear it, that's your choice. But I think most of that is built upon that. And just how some people, you're getting a lot of people who don't feel human, or don't, they're like, I don't consider myself human or whatever. And it's such a weird thing. I'm like, why would you even say that? I saw something on Twitter. I know, Twitter of all places. Someone said that she didn't understand how people could have an inner dialogue in their head. And someone commented back, is like, oh, just tell everybody you're an NPC. So people are kind of aware of NPCs, that this matrix, this reality just has people who exist, and they're like bots. And Twitter is a perfect example of you have all these people, and some of those people are bots. Some of those people are artificial intelligence, and they're running on a program. And that's not bad or good. It's just they're not souls. They're not human souls. They're running on a program, and some of that is to educate. Some of it's to keep you in the system, working in the system. And some of it's just to follow the status quo. Biblically, the Bible talks about the wheats and the tares, and allowing the wheats and the tares to grow up together. But those tares, those are like weeds. They're not real people. They look like real people, but they're not. And even in the Bible, they talk about these people who live amongst people who are not really human souls. So this is why you can't be swayed by the world. You can't be like, okay, well, everybody's doing it, maybe I should do it too. No, because A lot of these people are programs, and they're going to do what their programmer tells them to do. And the God of this world, and the God of this world is not the source. Okay, the source is experiencing life in this world, but not of it. And we are part of that source. We are part of that source code. Okay, we are experiencing life, and our connection is the source. And there's an outside energy that is trying to control the matrix on a hierarchical level and trying to get people to submit. Okay, and that can be biblical as well. But I don't want to get religious with you guys, but it is what it is, based upon um some of the studies I've been doing, not only about the Anunnaki, but the gods, the stories of the gods, and just the simulation theory of Gnosticism with the demiurge. There's an outside entity that wants to be God, whether you call it Lucifer, or Satan, or whatever. It's a force, and it's trying to control the system, and it does control the system. And there are just a lot of characters now. NPCs, yes, on a spiritual level, they're more able to be possessed by demons or spirits, just like in the Matrix, the movie The Matrix. You have these people, and they just turn into agents, and then they would fight people who were not a part of the Matrix anymore, or people who have unplugged. So your goal here is, in your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to unplug yourself and see the world as it really is. This world has been destroyed and rebuilt many times just to keep control, just to keep this system of control. And that's the only reason, is a system of control, to keep you in a place where you are not making conscious decisions and creating a matrix, or creating things in the matrix. That's what I'm saying. If you don't do it, then who else? I always say that because you have more control of this matrix than you realize. Okay, and they want to make you feel powerless. They want to make you feel like you have no control. They want to make you feel like you have to do what you're told and go along with the crowd. But you see a lot of people resisting, and those people that are resisting, those are the souls. Those are the souls, because the soul's energy is not going to be controlled like that. It's a creative energy. NPCs don't create; they only do their program. They're not creative. You won't see them create anything, and that's how you can kind of tell. They kind of do the same thing over and over, and they go in their routine, and they say the same things. I wouldn't even get in arguments with NPCs. You can kind of tell. They look the same. They make the same statements. They have their talking points. It's just like annoying. But yeah. Now, in a spiritual sense, yeah, it can seem like, oh, this is very demonic or satanic or whatever. There's a lot of that in there. I mean, you can't ignore spirituality and religion and what religion has said about NPCs. But at the same time, we have to understand it on a whole different level. We've got to take it up a notch. And that's what my hopes with making my videos for you guys is to make you a little bit more aware of this matrix system, make you more aware of NPCs. Like I said, they're neither good or bad. They just are the soulless ones. They're just going through life. And don't get distracted by them, because they can be distractions. They can be beautiful. They can be sexy. And to focus more on reality. You have to, I think the whole cell phone thing, where people are just always in their phones, when you're doing this, when you're just focused on your phone and you're going out in public and you're just looking at your phone, what you're doing, you're taking your attention away from the outside world. So the outside world doesn't have to really do anything. Remember, when everybody's focused on the same thing, it creates an energy. It takes data to create something. And if enough souls focus on one thing, we can create magic. We can do the impossible. You're wondering how the pyramids and all these temples were created? It's human power. And I'm not talking about slavery and stuff like that. I'm talking about like consciousness and sound waves and just the ability to manifest. We weren't meant to manifest things by ourselves. We're meant to manifest things together, coming together. There's a biblical scripture for that too. But I don't want to get all. See, I grew up in the church, but a lot of my spirituality and stuff. I mean, there's still a lot of things that I still remember. Um, even though, like I said, Christianity has its flaws, it definitely has its flaws. But there are some spiritual things. You don't throw the baby Jesus out with the bathwater. So, my dog is bothering. But yeah, what do you want, Mister? You want to say hi to everybody? Yeah, NPCs. Love them or hate them, and then Spike wants to be on. Spike wants to say hi to guys. Oh, Spike. Spike is a new baby. Say hi, Spike. He's like, are we on TV? Are we on video? If you guys have any questions about NPCs or that's the topic of the discussion, be sure to leave me a comment. And also, I'm always available for readings if you need one. And always remember to make your reality happen, because if you don't do it, then who will? I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.